Welcome to another episode of Mental Health Mondays, where we talk to guests. I talk to guests who are experts in the mental health space, advocates for mental health, or those that live with or experience a mental health challenge. And just as a reminder, make sure you mash down that subscribe button if you're watching this on YouTube. Or if you're watching this on LinkedIn or Facebook, most likely you already follow us. But if not, make sure you do that. And I am so excited to bring on my guests. So, without further ado, I will bring up Athena. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Awesome, Kelly. I appreciate you for having me on. I'm honored to be a guest here in the new year, 2023, talking about the importance of mental health and what a topic that oftentimes, gets brushed under the rug, but it's something that has surfaced now, especially with, the pandemic and, COVID-19. And there's so many people that are suffering in silence. And so I love the work that you're doing to create awareness, and I'm happy to be on the show.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. And I would love for you to share a little bit about yourself with the audience.
Absolutely. My name is Athena Callender, and I am a holistic lifestyle consultant. My background, I have over 25 years corporate sales, executive leadership experience. And throughout my corporate career, I've suffered from mental illness, and that showed up in forms of major depression, where it was extremely tough to get out of bed some days. And, in sales, where it's just such a beast, with just a constant drive. I was burnt out. And not only that, I wasn't taking the best care of myself from a nutritional standpoint, and also suffered from bipolar disorder. And so dealing with that throughout my career, I found myself in the HR office more often than I wanted to, give credit to, but I knew that I had to do a lot of healing inside, and so needless to say, throughout my healing journey and really getting clarity came when I really returned back to my roots as a Hasana Misko Nipmuc, and really understanding the importance of whole foods and plant-based nutrition. And in my last career, I was at Definitive Healthcare, and I was selling data and analytics on the entire healthcare provider market. And at the time, I wanted to get pregnant, and my womb was closed. And it was very, very devastating. Wanted to procreate and not being able to. And I know a lot of women that are in corporate careers, that are expanding their families, deal with that. And then again, the mental illness, the depressed states that come along with it. But needless to say, Kelly, I had my breakthrough once I returned back to Mother Nature, and also meditative practices. And so I just want to recognize Tony Chacon, who was one of my allies at Definitive Healthcare, who put me on to the importance of meditation. And so once I started to meditate, once I started to apply whole foods and plants back to my life, it really lit me back up, Kelly, in such a way. And I was able to reverse bipolar disorder, major depression. And I thank God for the psychologist that I talked to, the therapist, the psychiatrist, because depending upon where you are, you could find yourselves in a mental institution and, or in some cases suicide. And I know that's what really spawned the work that you're doing here at BCC Evolution, because I found myself at that breaking point, in my life. And so it gets very lonely. But the good news is that you can come back. And that's what I teach now with my platform, because that's what I've been able to do for myself. And so, again, I was able to return back to Mother Nature, totally reset. And by resetting, I didn't realize that it was going to really catapult so much internally, outwardly, because I outgrew my corporate job. And as much as I loved that opportunity to grow and to thrive and to help build leaders, I found myself marginalized and not being able to, again, expand my family, so I had to do things slightly different. And that's where my breakthrough came in. So needless to say, I was able to lose 70 pounds. I reversed allergy, asthma, bipolar disorder, major depression. I was able to return back to my roots. And now my goal is to help empower others who are also in different places in their life due to generational trauma, ancestral trauma, and helping them to become the best version of themselves that they can be this lifetime.
Wow.
So I know that was a lot. So
No, that's good.
I'm going to
That's
breathe and have some water on that note. Okay.
No, you're good. That was awesome. I mean, there's so many little things that are sticking out in my brain. First and foremost, I understand the sales. That's where my background in corporate was in sales and tech support, and well, most recently in sales. And like you said, it's that hustle and bustle of hitting numbers and doing this and doing that, and making sure that you're keeping up. And it becomes very not overwhelming always, but a lot of time it's very overwhelming. And then being in a call center, there's a lot of negativity. And so I hear you there. And then how you talked about really getting back with like Mother Nature. And I mean, it gave me chills when you said that, because I'm like, it makes a difference when you like get back to your roots and where you're grounded, and the nutrition and all of those things. And incredible that you were able to reverse allergies and bipolar, and not having to like go on to medication and so many other things that people oftentimes have to do to be able to just live, right? So I just think that's incredible that finding meditation and getting rooted back to where you came from has made such a significant impact on your life. And now you're able to translate that to other people that need it the most. So
Absolutely.
yeah, that's just, I mean, it's incredible. If so, what would you, the question that pops into my head is, somebody who is out there and they're like, okay, that sounds amazing, but I have no idea how I could even do that or experience it. What would you say in that instance?
I love it. And I get that all the time, where people are like, help, what's the first step I have to take? The first step I tell you to take is to breathe. Woo-hoo. First and foremost, we have to catch our breath and be aware of our now moment, because a lot of us are thinking about the future, and that'll get you in a state of anxiety, or we're thinking about the past, and that'll leave you in a state of depression. So again, we have to seize our now moment and breathe. So that's one of the first things that I teach, is the importance of chi, life force energy, and really starting to activate the parasympathetic nervous system. All right. Because a lot of us are walking around, especially corporate 9 to 5ers, in that fight or flight. You're running from meeting to meeting, deadline to deadline, quota to quota, especially now it's the end of the month. How many business days do we have left? Right. And that panic and that sweat, and now the recession. And so, wait a minute, we have to just come back to ourselves inside, you know what I mean? And learn how to breathe and calm down. That's the first thing. And how we do that by activating the parasympathetic nervous system. And I'm so happy that this is a live recording. And I'm so happy that this is Monday, Moon Day, because what we're going to do is do a little breathing with Coach T. And so, Kelly, if you wouldn't mind, I'd like to just hold space for the audience just to do some breath work, which is what I do with my clients. And I'd love for everybody just to go to their happy place, just for a few minutes. And you will thank me for this, because it's going to help to give you more energy in this moment, more clarity in this now moment, and more vitality in this now moment. And you can take this with you. So I'm teaching you a few things on this live Mental Health Monday that's going to help you for a lifetime. All right. So that's one of my philosophies. If you give a man a fish, you will feed him for a day. But if you teach a man to fish, you will feed him for a lifetime. So let's get into it. So what I want you to do is put your hands right nice into your lap. I'd like you to sit up nice and tall. All right. And so what I'd like us to do is just take a nice deep inhale And exhale. We just want to remove all of the stale air from our lungs. Let's go ahead and take a nice deep inhale. And this time we can release, letting go of all worry, all tension, all stress. One more time. Let's take a nice deep inhale. And this time, just blow it out nice and slow. So now what I'm going to teach you right quick, and I know probably everybody's feeling so good, is what's called the 5-5-7 breath, all right? So that was just a little warm up just to remove the stale air from your lungs, all right? Again, we're bringing some oxygen to our brain, which is so important so that we can function, having good cognitive, reactions. So the 5-5-7, we're going to inhale for 5. We're going to hold our breath for 5, and then we're going to slowly exhale for a count of 7. We're going to do 3 cycles of this, and then afterwards we can go to our happy place just for a moment, and then we'll continue on with some more education. So let's go ahead and take a nice deep inhale for a count of 5, blowing out your belly like a balloon. Hold your breath. And slowly exhale for a count of 7. Okay, let's go ahead. Take another nice deep inhale for a count of 5. Again, blowing out your belly like a balloon. Hold your breath. And slowly exhale for a count of 7. All right, one more time. Let's go ahead. Take a nice deep inhale for a count of 5. Hold your breath. And slowly exhale for a count of 7. All right, well, I just want to say I'm just in my happy place right now, and you can go here anytime before a meeting, before you have to greet your family, in the rising, the 5-5-7. And so I just want to thank Kelsey for allowing me to do that, but that's everything. So anyhow, I'll turn it over to you. I'm just like in a bliss state right now.
Yeah, no, that's good. I mean, and it's very simple. So it's something that you can do at any point in time. And I love that we actually did it. So I've had several guests in the past and we've done short breath work or short breathing exercises, but not for the extended time. So I love that we did or were able to hold that space. So thank you. See, even I'm like, all right, I'm relaxed. Love it.
Absolutely.
So breathing is definitely really important. And I know oftentimes we're like, well, we naturally breathe, but breathing deeply and really centering or grounding yourself is not something that we do enough. And so I think that it's important, like you said, and knowing how to breathe and doing it for the time count is really important too.
Yes, and then additionally, hydration, that's one of the components that I teach in terms of, helping to balance out, the body, because we are electromagnetic beings. And so it's important that we're getting the right amount of vitamins and minerals and nutrients. And so if we're deficient in any way, And that's where I found, in terms of being able to reverse the allergies and asthma, is really, again, putting the minerals into my body through eating sea moss, which has 92 of the 102 minerals that the body needs. And then additionally, with the apple cider vinegar, which I did a talk at the top of the year with LeJune Singleton, Jumpstart, and I talked about the importance of apple cider vinegar and how that's an internal and external tonic. And that also helps to boost the brain and also does a lot for the body. So it's just all about making sure that we treat our bodies in the way that we're designed, because a lot of us are just not connected. We're very much disconnected. And so again, that throws us off in terms of our mental health. And so again, it's about returning back to nature. And so I love a lot of the offices now that have design set up where employees can go out and take breaks and sit down at the bench, and they even have meditation rooms. And so we're in a new age now where it's important to create the atmosphere for people to be able to be as productive as they possibly can be, and as efficient. And so that's one of the things that I'm happy to see, are the changes that's taken place in the workforce, the changes that are taking place in the home. But again, it starts within each person individually, owning their health, their wellness. You can't give away what you don't have. So I think it's important to have these opportunities to get on, to help people, to show them what they could do to level up energetically, and not succumb to, any type of violence or suicide, self-harm, that sort of thing.
Yeah, I think you made a really great point too, is thinking about corporate environments. And I love the shift that is happening. I don't think that it's happening fast enough, at least from what I have seen, but making those small steps are important as a business and as a business owner, and just even as an employee to ask, right? I know from my background that wasn't really an option, although when we were moved home, it was a different scenario. However, I think that, or maybe the question that's coming up in my brain is, as you go in and talk with corporations, are you finding that they're really making the changes, or is it something more of like lip service that they're like, yeah, we're going to make all these changes and I want you to think about your mental health, but you have to hit the numbers, you have to do this, you have to do that? Is that something that you're finding, or are you really truly, like, I think about Google, I know they have like those relaxation pods, and they have found that it has made more people much more productive to be able to take those breaks and be able to have that space. And so I'm just curious, as you talk to more corporations or businesses, are they really actually implementing these tools?
Sure. And I would say to you, it's kind of like that slow moving giant, if you will, because, corporations have been ingrained to move and do a certain type of way. But again, we're in a new age now, especially with the boomers, transitioning out. We have the millennials, and, so it's a totally different environment that we all have to adapt to. And honestly, it's important to adopt quickly, because what we're finding now with the great resignation, a lot of companies are looking for top talent, and, in retaining that talent, there's a lot of, mergers and acquisitions, and a lot of companies that are going down. And so there's just a lot of unrest. But at the end of it, it's top down, so the leaders have to get in line. And as the leaders get in line, then everything else will get into alignment. And so it's just something that can't be ignored, especially with, with the whole global shutdown, and everybody's now working from home. And so again, we're trying to find this new normal, but we can't neglect the fact of the mental health, because people are not showing up the same. Again, with the suicide rates up, burnout rates up. I mean, again, it's just that big elephant in the room. And so now we have to redesign the rooms. And so I am seeing more and more articles about, the whole feng shui, within the office layouts, and, the ergonomics, and so it's just important to have balance. But I think that platforms like BCC Evolution, platforms like Restoring Wealth and Wellness, going out to talk about the things that we don't want to talk about, but then more importantly, by addressing it and providing simple steps to solve these big issues, because we're talking about billions of dollars here. We're talking about millions of lives that are suffering. And so we just have to sound the alarm and do what we can to show them how to create these new structures.
Yeah. And I think I mean, I love how you said it's like this big, slow moving giant, which doesn't necessarily, you can adopt small things quickly too, like the breathing exercises, or allowing people to, whether they're stepping off of like the sales floor or wherever they are for a few moments, or maybe it's just even like getting up to go fill up your water bottle, right? There's like really simple techniques that you can implement now versus having to think about like tons of dollars to be shifted to get these like relaxation pods or whatever. But I love that you brought up like breathing is important, hydration is important, fueling your body with the right foods, and those are all things that we can do. It's not like our company doesn't have to do it for us, right? So I think that's important to remember too. And like you said, burnout is real. I mean, I know, and that's why I ended up leaving my corporate job, is because I just I didn't align with what was happening there. And also like I had to be able to take care of myself. And I know that we had lost multiple people to suicide within the call center. And so I think that brings an important part as a business and as a corporation. Like, what's happening with your people? Are you really ready and willing to implement these things so that you actually start saving lives? Like, this is important to listen to, and it's important to get, whether it's myself or Athena, into your company and have these conversations, right? Nobody wants to talk about it, but what happens when people do die by suicide? Who is talking about it? What are you doing to make a better place for your employees? And again, it can start with the employees themselves. It doesn't have to be these ginormous changes. So I love that. I'm like, this is such an important conversation that, I mean, we need to have in general, but also on the corporate and the business aspect, which I know that both of us are in those areas and trying to make a change. So um I am curious, if somebody wants to work with you, do you specifically only work with companies or corporation? Do you do one-on-one? What does that look like?
Sure. I do consult with corporations. I'm in the educational space. I do talks at colleges, universities. I also do workshops and speaking at churches. And I'm also working with corporations as well. But as far as my coaching that I do offer one-on-one programs, 21 90-day programs. And then I also offer group hybrid models as well. And so I just love the opportunity to help empower people by sharing my story, but then more importantly, ways that you can level up energetically to be the best version of you that you can be. And the onus is on you. So it's not on a corporation to save you. It's not on your pastor to save you. It's the man in the mirror. And so once you realize that and you take accountability and just again onus of it by learning how to operate at your best, because we're a machine. So once you look at it from like the atomic level, that real cellular level, like what is it that I need, and start to put that into your body, and you start to dream again, and you start to really look at your potential without any limits. Yeah, game over. And so, and that's what I want to help people, is to reignite that spark within, to dare to dream big. But then more importantly, I have the blueprint and the formula to how you can get it going. And so that's where I love to, help people get from here to there, what I mean, and create the life of your dreams, heaven on earth.
Amazing. And I'm curious, the other thing that popped into my head is actually I was having this conversation with my dad the other day about hydration and water in general. And I know there's lots of products on the market that there's like ionized water, there's this, there's that, and there's so many different types of water. Do you have any thoughts around like the specific water you should be putting into your body?
I most definitely do. All water is not created equal. And so, in fact, I do have like a pH dropper to test water, so I definitely recommend to have filters, for your faucet, especially shower, because our skin is one of the largest organs on the body. So, you want to make sure you're not getting all that acid, hard water there. But then, additionally, I do have a Life Max ionizer. So, I'm able to get 9 pH water. And then also what I drink is Mountain Valley. And this is a bottle that I'm able to get from Whole Foods Market. And this also is an alkaline water. And so when we think about our bodies being 70% water, we want to make sure that we're keeping our body in an alkaline state. And as long as our body's in an alkaline state, really there's no disease. Like it doesn't exist. And so we just want to make sure, like you mentioned, all water is not created equal. So again, Mountain Valley, spring water. Again, I do have a water machine. I did make that investment, but I understand the importance of it. And so, yes.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's, I mean, definitely something that I've looked into and like getting those filters. I know there's all sorts out there that you can definitely get, but I think it's important knowing the difference or that there is a difference in the water that you put into your body. And also, what was the other thought? There was another thought roaming in there, but I guess it wasn't important. So um I think that overall it's just with the disease, right? Like talking about all these chemicals and things that are going on our body and being put into our body, which can ultimately manifest mental health challenges and disease and illnesses and all kinds of things. And I don't think that's something that we don't talk enough about. It is really like you were talking about is allergies and asthma and bipolar and depression and all these things that you were experiencing. And just by recentering and looking at what was going in your body and on your body and being able to change those things and what's happening with your mindset, that's huge. I mean, huge. And again, not enough people talk about that for sure.
No, it's true. No, I appreciate you for doing the work that you're doing because, again, it's something that needs to be more widely broadcast. That way, we don't lose any more people to suicide. So if we can save one life, our job is done. So.
Yeah, absolutely. So if somebody wants to work with you, where can they find you?
Yes. So you can find me at athenacallender.com. I'm also on Facebook under Athena Callender. I'm on Instagram, restoring_wealth_and_wellness. I know it's a little bit long. And then I'm also on LinkedIn, Athena Callender. So if you have any questions or if you need support, if anything that I mentioned resonated, I'd love the opportunity to connect with you and, just take it from there.
Awesome. Yep. And there is her website right below. And in the comments, all of the other Instagram and Facebook and all of those are in there too. So if you want to connect and just have a chat, you never know, right? Any last thoughts or things you want to share?
I would just say that to the audience, 2023 is, well, it equals 7, which is a number of perfection and completion. And so despite whatever may have happened into your life, today is a new day. You have the opportunity to write a new story. And so I just want you to really think about the vision that you have for yourself. I encourage you to dream big. And then I want you to go even bigger from there. And then I want you to take some steps today to start to manifest that reality, because you can have anything that you desire to have. If you can only dare to dream and believe, you can achieve, and so shall it be. And so I'm here to support you. Again, Athena Callender, Coach T.
Amazing. I didn't even think that it was 7. It equals 7. Yay. So that is amazing. Yeah. Well, thank you so much for being my guest today. I really, really appreciate you. And this was such an amazing conversation. So thank you.
Thank you so much, too. I appreciate you.
Yeah. All right, y'all. Oh my gosh, that was another amazing episode of Mental Health Mondays. And again, I didn't even think about that. 2023 equals 7. And so it's a whole new year, right? Like, what are we doing with our year this year? And put the rest in the past because that's where it belongs. Now is now, and we can focus on now. Reach out to Athena if you want to learn more. And also, again, reminder, mash down the subscribe button if you are watching this on YouTube, if you haven't yet, so that you don't miss another amazing episode of Mental Health Mondays. I promise you, all the guests that I've had are absolutely incredible, and they just kind of topple over each other, which is the coolest part. It's not meant to work out that way, but it does work out that way, and that's the coolest part. Also, as a reminder, BCC Evolution is a 501c3 nonprofit. So, in order to bring all of these amazing guests and all the programs that we do, we need your support. And the best way to do that, the easiest way, because again, I'm going to be climbing a mountain and it's happening this year in August, climbing the mountain 13 times to equal 30 miles. And the 29029 Everesting Challenge. We still need your help. Our goal is to get to $60,000 and we're at about 4,500. So, if you are a person who has somebody that you want to honor, maybe you've lost them by suicide or a substance abuse challenge, or maybe another mental health challenge, and you want to showcase their name on our t-shirts as we're climbing this mountain, with $100 donation or more, you can put their name on the front of our shirt. Or maybe you're a business and you want to link arms with BCC Evolution and you want to showcase your business. With $1,000 or more, you get your logo on the back. And one of the coolest parts that we just recently added is if you donate $5,000 or more, you actually get a trip to Mexico, which is awesome. It's a $4,500 value. And we partnered with a company that is giving us access to offer these trips to you with a $5,000 donation or more. So go donate. But the easiest way is just text Climb for Mind to 44321, or that's the link. It's a pretty long link. It's also on BCC Evolution underneath our donate tab. So, I mean, either way, but that's easier if you just, that's not the, but that's what we're doing is the 29029 Everesting. But Climb for Your Mind to 44321. And don't forget, we do this every single Monday at 11 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. So make sure you come back and check us out. All right, y'all. Have a good day.